Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. It's never too late to get active and participate in sports. The Chemung County Senior Games are underway, and Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke to some of the county's fiercest competitors.
The Chemung County Senior Games have been around for nearly 30 years as a way to give our local seniors a way to stay physically, mentally, and socially active.
We just all work together for our seniors, 50 and over. Of course, 50 is not that old, but for our seniors just to have a place and a purpose. And we work and we have fun. We have fun.
Today, the Senior Games held a volleyball tournament, which included a team coming all the way from Binghamton to compete.
We've been playing together since we retired. I mean, all of us want to stay active, want to be able to stay in good shape, and we don't like the idea of sitting in a chair and watching TV.
For many at today's tournament, having opportunities like the Senior Games to stay active and have fun is more important than actually winning.
It's wonderful. Actually, Chemung County is the only one left. We used to have one in Broome County, and they gave that up. Too expensive.
The team's here.
So we're thrilled that it's still available.
The Chemung Senior Games will continue over the next couple of weeks, featuring events such as archery, pickleball, and golf. For the last time, Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
A man arrested for aggravated assault and terrorist threats is also the key suspect in a string of arson incidents in the area. Brett Bunker was allegedly roughly hitting the keys of a grand piano at the north entrance of the hospital. When Bunker was asked to leave, security says he stole a wheelchair from the hospital and took off into the parking lot. When pursued by security, they say Bunker started chasing after them and headbutted and punched a security officer in the face several times. When questioned by police about the recent arson incidents in the area, it's reported that Bunker said, quote, "Yes, I love fire. Burn the world." Bunker additionally threatened to burn down the officer's house. He currently sits behind bars at the Bradford County Correctional Facility. An Elmira man sentenced today for a high-speed chase that lasted 2 hours back in 2021. 42-year-old Lawrence Williams was sentenced to 18 to 60 months in New York State Prison for the chase that began in Southport. Williams led police from Southport over state lines into Bradford County before finally being caught in Wyoming County, Pennsylvania. During the chase, Williams ran multiple cars off the road and damaged 2 police cruisers. Over 13,000 tickets were issued statewide by New York State Police over the course of Memorial Day weekend. Locally, a little over 1,000 tickets were issued in the southern tier, and 1,500 were issued in the Finger Lakes region. State police ran a special enforcement campaign over the holiday to deter speeding and aggressive driving, as well as impaired driving. The Steuben County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a gift card scam circulating in the county. People have been receiving phone calls with the caller ID of Steuben Sheriff. The caller then claims to be Sergeant Matt Sorge and informs the victim they've missed a court appearance and to mail a gift card to avoid arrest. In their announcement, the Sheriff's Office states that anytime money transfers or gift cards are asked for payment, this is a scam. Corning, coming in at second place on a list of the best small towns in America. And tonight our Maggie Hall gives us a rundown of the reasons why people love Corning so much.
Corning was ranked number 2 on a list of some of the best small towns in America. Tonight I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why folks love Corning and who took the number 1 spot.
Travel awaits 2023's Best of Travel Awards, presented by AllTrails, compiled the list showcasing readers' favorite destinations. On the list of 14 of the best small towns in the U.S., Abilene, Kansas takes the number 1 spot. The article cites the small town as having presidential natural history and Western charm. Corning takes second place on the list, starting off with the fact that almost every kitchen in the U.S. may have a piece of the town, with it being the founding place of Corning and Pyrex dishes. Corning became a city in 1890 and today has 11,000 residents. One of the world's leaders in blown glass, the Corning Museum of Glass is a huge draw for artists and tourists. Travel Awaits says that Corning oozes charm. Corning Incorporated employs people from all around the world, bringing international cultures to the Crystal City. The city is walkable, with Market Street hoisting local businesses and restaurants galore. All of these things and more come together to make Corning one of the best small towns in the U.S.
Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
A community cleanup for Elmira is coming up at the end of this month. Cities Rise and Habitat for Humanity are hosting the cleanup block party near St. Joe's Hospital. Volunteers will help with cleaning up trash, updating landscaping, cutting weeds, and painting. The cleanup is scheduled for June 23rd and 24th from 9 a.m. to noon. Register by the 16th at the website on your screen. With days to spare, the Senate passed a bill to both raise the debt limit and cut federal spending. Now it's off to the president's desk for his signature. Griff Jenkins has the latest.
The bill is passed.
A collective sigh of relief from lawmakers and Wall Street, with at least one financial catastrophe averted.
We've saved the country from the scourge of default.
After marathon votes, Thursday night, the Senate passed a bipartisan bill that allows the country to accrue even more debt. But the markets are happy for now.
We did get all this uncertainty regarding the debt ceiling out of the way.
If Congress didn't vote to suspend the debt limit, borrowing costs would have skyrocketed even more, and America's credit rating would have plunged. Now, the White House sees better days ahead. A new government report out Friday says 339,000 jobs were added in May, coming in much hotter than expected.
This is a surprising upswing, I think, relative to the last 4 months.
Government construction and healthcare jobs seeing most of those gains. In the Labor Department gave new upward revisions for March and April jobs, but unemployment showing a different picture, ticking up to 3.7%.
There's a huge increase in this report in the number of job losers. I would caution policymakers to realize that we're not out of the woods.
The labor market's strength could feed inflation, and that may force the Federal Reserve to hold interest rates steady or even hike them later this month. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
In the Senate, lawmakers voted on legislation to block President Biden's student debt relief program. The 52-46 vote for the repeal went largely along party lines, with the exception of a few moderate senators. The resolution repeals the Biden administration's program to cancel up to $10,000 in loans for those whose income falls below a certain level, and up to $20,000 to students who received Pell Grants. The legislation now heads to Biden's desk. He has said he will veto the measure. Your complete weekend forecast is still ahead. Plus this.
NASA wants to send your name into space. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at the unique ways you can take part in the agency's upcoming mission to Jupiter's moon, coming up.
Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. As we are heading into this first weekend of June, we have definitely been feeling like summer here this week. We note that our entirety week from Sunday through Thursday, high temperatures were 10 to 15 degrees above average. We noted that even today, we broke a high temperature record in Elmira Corning. The old record was set back in 2007 at 88 degrees, and we were well into those mid-90s by this afternoon, crushing that old record. Now, there are some changes ahead. We were noting that as we stepped into the afternoon, there were some clustered-like thunderstorms, especially developing over higher elevations out towards the east in place, and some of those were sliding on through the area. Now, it is very spotty. We'll keep some of that passing cloud cover here through the overnight, but note that we are gaining more of that northerly wind as there is a system that continues to push its way through, which is going to still allow for maybe a triggering of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms for our Saturday. You'll be lucky to receive any rainfall, and as we were talking yesterday, yesterday, we need some moisture in our soils as we did bring in some abnormally dry conditions across much of Pennsylvania and into southern portions of New York. Now, the system is also what's bringing in some cooler air. We're watching through the upper atmosphere, a low pressure system that's going to hug the northeastern states here over the next few days, which is going to keep us cooler than what we've been experiencing, but it's actually going to be more seasonal for this time of the year, actually feeling like early June. But with that low that is going to be hugging portions of the northeastern states, what that means is low pressure system typically means active weather. So we are going to talk more chances for rainfall next week, which as mentioned, that is some good news for our soils. So rolling through the forecast though, tomorrow is going to be a very isolated threat for anything to develop. It is pretty spotty though. We still see some of that passing cloud cover and some reflectivity, especially there into the afternoon, still streaming on some of those higher elevation spots, bringing in maybe a rumble of thunder or two. But generally should keep maybe just some passing cloud cover for a general forecast into our Saturday, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder. But you start to feel that northerly extent. We see temperatures holding to those mid 70s, maybe a few 80s. It will be dependent on how much sunshine we see, how much cloud covers around, and how far south that northerly air can start to push in. Because by Sunday, we'll be well encased underneath this cooler air mass, which we're seeing that's going to bring in brighter skies still for us, as we'll still have a little influence from that high pressure system. And then we have more seasonable temperatures. We even see Mansfield around 72 degrees, Elmira 77, Bath around about 74 degrees. We will note that as we roll into next week, though, we continue to talk about that northerly influence. A lot of these arrows that show the wind direction, and a lot of it all comes out of the north. Even gets a little strong Tuesday and Wednesday, and that stronger wind is what's going to continue to pull in that cooler air mass, even allowing for maybe a few days into the 60s, which would be cooler than average, but a comfortable relief from this heat that we've been noting. And then we will have to next week talk several chances for these showers and thunderstorms to push through the area.